Okay, so I have been listening and you guys want a simple supplies challenge. So today we are going to use Mod Podge, a Sharpie marker, and a composition book to make a magazine collage. And the only thing I'm cheating about is I've been hoarding this. I love this paper. I'm going to use half of this sheet of paper for this because I have an idea. This is just a piece from a magazine that I ripped out that I've been loving on. And I like to use up my stash, but I'm going to grab a magazine randomly. Okay, so I grabbed an L. And we are going to make a magazine collage. Okay, so what I do is first I find something that I'm interested in. Okay? And ooh, that's kind of cool. Okay, so we need to have some paper to make, what do I have? Oh, here we go. I use this to make a template. Okay, so I like that. So that could be something. And we know the next page we got another something something. All right, that is really cool. So those are things that I might use, but they're not going to be like what inspires me. Those are really cool. And I'm also looking for another page just full of texture like that red one. Okay, let's see. Let's keep going. Ooh, that's a pretty flower on there. Giant shoe. All right, all right, all right, all right. Ooh, those are big glasses. I like older women in my art because everybody uses the young girls, and I'm not a young girl anymore, so I like to try to ooh, that's fancy. All right. I haven't found anything yet that tells me a story, but we got to find our solution in here. So we're going to keep looking. So there's a bunch of cool faces and stuff. I'm doing a whole faces project. I'm looking for something a little different than just doing a faces collage. Okay. Ooh, a plane might be fun. Okay. We're going to use this plane this way. Okay? So this is going to be our main, we're thinking about a plane. Okay. So now we got to figure out some stuff to go with our plane. And I may have a face on top of the plane. That could be okay. Ooh, is the propeller her hat? Okay, that's going to be cool. So, we're going to make the propeller her hat. And we're going to use this gal and our Sharpie marker. And now we need some more stuff though, right? And I for sure need some more color than just this red. Okay, so let's keep going. This could be fun. And I'm going to have, what's on the back of my, no. Okay, so that's a little bit of color. Ooh, there's some color. I love her face though. All right, let's just keep going, see what we can find. All right, there's a bunch of green. Green and red are complementary colors. It's kind of tealy bluey green. Okay, nothing's jumping out there. I'm kind of looking for some stuff. I think I had more stuff up front, huh? Okay, so we have our papers in here. What do we have that we've seen before? It was this flower. Okay, so let's think about it. So we have my green and red background is going to be fine. We have this gal with her umbrella or her propeller head. I think for sure, where'd that other one go? Do we want to make this her body? Let's see. Okay, so, don't know, that seems like a lot of stuff going on, but I think I could use this. Ooh, how about that little piece? No, this, I need a little color. So I'm gonna take this, what's on the back of this, these weird women. Okay, I'm gonna take this. Okay, I'm just gonna cut all these out because I might use that too. Okay, so that's gonna get us started. If we have to come back to that magazine, we'll come back to that magazine. It is the Elle Secret Life of Miss Bieber. Okay. So the first thing I need to do for me is to, in this brand new book, nothing exciting going on here, I need to make a background. So I am going to start with this stuff, okay? And I'm going to make a border around this. Oh, do I want that for a border? I kind of want this for a background. Huh. Okay, maybe we have to go back to our magazine for some border stuff, because I have an idea for this. More so than just a border. Okay, so I'm going to cut this in half. I'm going to cut this in half again. Okay. There we go. All right. Now we have this, and I want to cut them relatively the same size. That one got skinny. So now we're going to take this and cut it in fourths. All right. And let's see if we can find some border stuff before we get too far. Just throwing stuff around my my office. Could be, these gals could be. Ooh, look at that. That's a border. And I could use that. Okay. Yay, we're onto a border. That couch could be a border. This stuff could be a border. But now I'm kind of looking for green, because I don't want it to be too jazzy. Or I guess I could do black and white too. All right, so we're going to do green and black and white for our border. Okay. Exciting. This is exciting. Okay, so we have our little pieces. Let's try to get that flat. It'll help flatten out once we get this done. Okay, so we definitely want to get as much of this as we can, because this is cool. And I think I'm going to cut that in half. And then I want her dress for sure for part of my border. And then we have that green door. So we have plenty for a border for a little page like this. Okay, here we go. Okay, ooh, I need to keep this. You'll see why. So I need to cut off her head because I don't want any distracting faces on my border. There we go. All right, now I want to spread this around, right? Because there's a lot of the same thing here. So I want to spread this around. I'm going to cut off her arm and her body. Oh, I love we got the doorknob. Cut that a little bit like a drunk sailor. Could have mentioned it. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to take our Mod Podge, and while I love you and I'm doing this on the cheap, I'm not ruining one of my brushes. This is the best thing I've ever bought. It is a makeup brush that is made of silicone, and it doesn't hold the, oh, I kind of want to go over this because this is going to be one big piece. And it doesn't hold the Mod Podge, so I love you, but I'm going to use my makeup brush for this. Okay, here we go. Let's get a piece going down here. Let's get a piece right there. So for this, I'm just trying to make a border around here because I can't use anything but magazine pieces and my Sharpie pen. Can't even use my Posca pen. So I need to cover the back of this page with some kind of pattern, right? And this isn't going to be anything exciting. We may do some doodling or something on here. We may find something else from our magazine to put in this border, but for right now, this is just like background, right? And we may not have enough to go all the way around, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to start over here so that I have some over here too. Maybe we can't go all the way around, or maybe we have to find something else. And we got this piece. Oh, I don't want them looking the same, so let's flip this one around. There we go. All right, do we have any more of that? We do not. Okay, so we are gonna start on my plan for the rest of it. Now, somebody had asked me about Mod Podge, and it is a sealer, and it is a sealer, and it's a glue. Now, that having been said, Mod Podge and Sharpie don't play well together. Once you have your Mod Podge down, if you write on it with Sharpie, because Sharpie's oil-based, it's going to have a hard time writing on there, and it could just slide right off because it is an oil-based sealer that is that won't stick as well to that kind of product, right? Right. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm making a checkerboard pattern with just some of these cutouts. That's not to say it won't, oh, no. It's not part of my checkerboard. I'll move that here. And I will go back around and make sure everything is super stuck down. And maybe all I have is enough of this one to make the V. But that's fine. I'm just trying to put a little pattern onto this sheet. This big old white page, right? Sometimes those are really intimidating. And the nice thing about this is going to make this composition page sturdier, right? So this isn't exactly your most sturdy kind of paper. It's not mixed media paper or anything like that. So any little thing we can do to make it more stable, the better. Okay, I got more red, yay. So I'm not going to have enough to do the whole checkerboard, but we can get kind of an idea of that. And then don't forget, we're going to be putting a ton of stuff on top of this. This is just the background. Okay, I'm trying to keep them, well, that Mod Podge works really well. Okay, so we're going to fill in the rest with this green. All right, now I am trying to be a little bit more selective because I have places up here in the border where I know that it will not necessarily be covered by collage pieces. So I'm trying not to have too much of her in there. Okay, this could be a good bottom, right? So dark on the bottom, light on the top. So I'm going to put this dark piece down here. That is just a general rule of composition. If you see something dark, you always think it's heavy and it's on the bottom. and light is on the top. And I am going to try to get all these edges stuck down so I don't have to fight them the whole time, right? I need a little piece of something, something there. That almost looks like my red, huh? Okay, I need a little piece of something over here. I think I want more of that green because I kind of got my green going around the outside. Okay, all right, we can tear off kind of her hand. Still dark on the bottom. And we need one more little piece of something, something. There we go, that'll work. I feel like we kind of have a long, what do we got? What do we got? Okay, we're gonna take this and cover this up. Perfect. Uh-oh, we got a piece down here too. Were you yelling for me? I couldn't hear you, sorry. Okay, there we go, there we go. And I got a piece down here I need, and I can do just kind of dark is fine. There we go. And then Mod Podge is also a sealer. So we're gonna go and come back with our Mod Podge and not only glue it down, but we're gonna seal it too. And don't worry about what I said about the Sharpie pen, because I have a solution for that. Don't fret. No fretting. And this should make this page super stable with all this podge of mod. Okay, all covered. I live in Florida, so we're gonna have to set this aside to dry. And now we can take this. What did we do? What did we have her for? I can't remember. Maybe it was for some border stuff? I don't know. Anyways, so now what we want to do is we want to... Was she the body? Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to cut out... I'm going to make the plain the body too. So we're going to do this. And I'm not going to be able to get that one little wing because it's not going to be hooked to the top here. Oops. I want this whole nose cone for the hat. You might be worried, but I have glue, right? I'm just going to glue that right back on. We're going to come down here, and this is going to be her body. That's cool. And then she's going to have a matching hat, right? So this is going to be her hat. Do we have anything there? I got to keep all my pieces because I only got my one magazine. All right, that's her body. This is going to be her neck. Body, neck, hat, right? And then her little face in here. Okay, so we're going to cut out her face, and then we're going to use her arms too. I kind of want her hair, because I don't know that I have hair, so I'm not going to cut her hair off yet. And I might leave her hat. So I need her hair and her hat, not the top part of her hat, but the hatty part of her hat. There we go. And then we want to keep her hair, for right now at least. I don't have a good hair solution. And I want to come up in here and I want to get to her neck. So there's her neck, coming around her hair. All right, I love you, but I'm using my snips. You might only have big scissors. If you only have big scissors, use your big scissors. All right, I'm gonna come up here to her face. And around this, over to here. Okay, there we go. Oh, darn it. I cut off her neck. That's okay. Because we're going to stick her neck down in here. All right. So we have her head. We have her neck. Do I need this? Maybe I need a little piece of blue going forward. I don't know. I could maybe even use that little piece of blue. Okay. Now let's get her arms and her hands. She has little nubbies on her shirt. If you like little nubbies, you could cut those out. But I can promise you, when you have a lady with a propeller on her head and a ring neck, nobody is going to notice whether her shirt has nubbies on it. Just not going to happen. So you make that call. And I'm going to try to be careful of that little ruff around her dress. I may use that for something. I may not, but in the grand scheme of things, it never hurts to have a dress ruff. I do kind of go in and out where it goes in and out, but I don't worry about having all the little nubbies on the edge. All right, and I'm going to keep this blue because I might want that blue, but I don't need this black. Well, you never know. I might need some black. So we're going to put this to the side. That's our body. This, I'm thinking I probably will need those, but there we go. And then we got our propeller. I don't know why I have that lady. All right, so I am going to fussy cut these out, meaning I'm going to snip, 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 snip. And then I will be back. Okay, so the background is relatively dryish, and I have done the cutting out. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start by using this blue stuff as an edge, and I am going to sacrifice one of my old paintbrushes that is already Mod Podged, ruined, and I'm going to go and use this blue stuff to go around this border. So I'm trying to make like a definitive border to this project, and it is already kind of bluish, so there's a lot of blue in it. So I think it'll make it look pretty. No other reason than that. All right, so I'm just finishing this up, and I did check, and Sharpie will work on the Mod Podge and will work on the glossy magazine pages. I'll probably, I don't know, maybe seal it, but we can still use it. So this is this. Now, I will let that dry, and I have a challenge for you since you guys made a challenge for me. So this is what I have. I have 2 rings, 2 bracelets, a flower, 2 arms, a helicopter hat, a lady, and a plain body. So what I want you to think about is, and I can start throwing this stuff away because I don't need this stuff. What I want you to think about is what you would do. It's what makes me the happiest. So I'll have somebody that comments on one of my videos that says, oh my gosh, I saw the things you had and I would have put them together totally differently. So if you want to make my heart happy, tell me exactly what you would have done differently than what I'm going to do. Okay, so here goes. We are going to figure out how tall her helicopter body and her helicopter hat are going to be. And I am going to break the plane of that border, right? Part of the reason I have the border is so that I have something to work against. Okay, and then I have her neck and her body. So I'm going to use all gold on her because I'm worried that if I used silver, it would be way too similar. Okay, and I have also decided to cut off her hair because I have a different idea for her hair. Okay. so we're going to do this, and we're going to get her ear. Ears are weird, but if people don't have them, it kind of freaks everybody out too. Okay, so I'm going to go right up in here, kind of maybe a tiny bit past her, like I'm taking off her brown hair. And that'll be fine. So there's that. And this is kind of her hat, right? And then this is the dark side of her face, so I have to kind of guess part of this. And we don't have an ear over here. So we don't have an ear over here. We're lopping off that other ear. God bless you, sister, but you're not having one strange ear. Okay. All right, so now we have this kind of hatty thing going on, right? And I am going to use this flower for her. So let's figure out her hair. Oh my goodness, I love her hair now. Okay, so we have that. What's this? That's garbage. All right, so we have her hair, we have her neck, right? Look at her hair, it's awesome. And I'll cut off that top part, but now we have hair. Now we have a neck. Now we have a body. Oh, she looks great. So she's gonna move over here because I want her to be over here. Right? At this point, I'm just trying to get a feel for her to make sure that I can fit everything I want to fit on here. Okay, so we got that going on, and we have her arms. Okay, and I'm going to use this hula hoop. So it's going to be like a middle to her body, right? And I'm thinking that I might make her arms bend, like, so if she was like this, to come down and kind of be in this part. So let me show you what I mean, because that was maybe the worst description of what I'm gonna do ever. Okay, so I need to cut a little slit in her hand by her thumb, right? Because if I'm gonna hook her thumb over that bar, then I need to have a little slit where I can get her thumb to go over, right? Okay, so we have her thumb going over, and then let's make a slit on this thumb so it can go over. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. So it would look as if her thumb is behind it and she's holding it, right? Perfect. So in that case, I need to make her like arms bend. So one way I can do that is to cut them in half. Don't forget, if you hate this idea, you can always stick it back on. Nobody will ever know. Don't be nervous. Okay. All right, so I have her holding her little hula hoop, and I have her shoulders, and I feel like they're going to cross right about there. What I'll probably do is glue them together and then bend them, right? And then cut the bend. Okay, so we'll do that together, don't worry. I'm just trying to get a feel for my whole project. All right, so I love what's going on with her. She's going to be amazing and totally fun. And then over here, I went back and got us that flower, right? So here's that flower, and it had a little flower buddy, and it actually had her hair flower. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make this kind of hold these flowers, and then this one is going to be the flower vase, right? So I'm going to cut out the middle of this ring. So you just poke a little hole with your scissors, or you could use an X-Acto knife. I tend to just stab my finger. Cut this around. This is going to be fun. I'm just looking for some visual interest over there, because if I don't have anything over there, then this is going to feel like a really weird page, right? It's going to be a big open area over there with nothing going on, and then everything's going to be this girl, who should be our focus, right? Like, she should be our focus. I'm not saying that, but I would like to have something going on over here. All right, so we have our flowers that are gonna go in here. Those are cute. This flowers fight me something fierce. Okay, here we go. Ooh, do we like it tipped? Ooh, do we love it tipped? And then the little vase down here. Ooh, I like it tipped much better because then it's not kind of taking up as much. Do I want it as if the flower is holding it? Yeah, I do. So then, yeah, I want it that way. Okay, I'm not going to think about this that much. There's not that much to think about. It's 2 flowers and a ring. Okay, so then I'm going to take and I'm going to cut a hole in this ring along this ridge so I can feed my flowers into there. Okay, right? So I'm going to cut this and then I can stick my flower stems in there. Boop, like that. And then it looks more realistic rather than just cutting them off when they get to there. Okay, perfect. All right, all right, all right, all right. Our ring, our bracelet, perfect. Also, these are repeating elements, right? So our eyes may not know it's a repeating element, but they get super excited if we have repeating elements. Okay, so let's start gluing this down. So the first thing I'm going to glue, I believe, so I like to make paper dolls out of my people. So I'm going to find her very best hair. So let's, I kind of like that hair over there. Okay, so that looks a little bit like hair. All right, so we're going to glue her onto here. And if you don't want to stick your stuff to your stuff, don't glue on your project, okay? I always glue on my project, and then I always complain that my stuff is stuck to my stuff. But it happens because I glue right on what I'm working on. If you don't want that to happen, don't glue on what you're working on. Okay, so we got that glued on now. We can cut off this top of her hair. Sweet. Okay, so let's glue this propeller thingy down, because that's going to kind of determine where the rest of her body goes, right? Okay. There we go. We're going to put that right there, crossing over the border. All right. Then, uh-oh, we need to leave. Oh, good. I left a little bit of her head not stuck down. I did it on purpose. I didn't. I really didn't. I just accidentally left it that way. All right, so now we want to glue the whole back of her down and get her stuck pretty good. I want all those little hair petals to stick down. Too much glue on here, so we're going to take some of it off, but that's okay. I do want this to be totally covered. And do not worry if you see a little bit of glue on her. It's Mod Podge. Mod Podge dries completely clear. Okay, and if we can smush her down, and you can actually, I got gunk on me. So now she has gunk on her. Oh, it came off. It's coming off, yay. All right, so what else you can do is you can take a credit card, old used one, and kind of smooth it. I don't really care about much of anything, but I'd like her face to be relatively smooth. You notice I didn't smooth out like the background or anything like that, but if we can keep her face relatively smooth, that would be awesome. All right, now we have her neck. And I think I'm just going to leave it just like that. Sometimes I would cut it down, make it smaller, but I kind of like it. You get to pick. If you are making a ring neck, you could cut it down and make it smaller. All right, so then I really can't put that down yet because I need to, right? So we need to get her body down. And we could have tipped her head. I think, you know, A lot of people like to tip heads. I'm not anti-head tip, right? But for me, the propeller is kind of the wonky part, not her. So that's a thought. All right, so now we have her body down. Now we have to make her, okay. So now I need to cut this wherever I'm gonna put it. This we're gonna have to do a little work on because I want it to look as if it's going around behind her body and she's holding it. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna get her, oh, I actually need to cut it. I need to cut it 2 ways. So I need to cut it like I normally would along here so her hands can hold it, right? To get her hands in there. And then I am gonna cut it as if she's standing behind it. Okay. So I'm gonna start, you can start at either end. You could start at her shoulder and make her hands work, or you could start at her hands and make her shoulders work. I'm gonna start at her hands and make her shoulders work. So I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna make sure I like them, and then I'm gonna glue her hands down. Okay. All right, so let's get her centered. Okay, so that's as close as I'm probably gonna get right this second. So then I'm just gonna glue her hands down so that I have at least one thing hooked to another thing. Side's a little bit off. We're gonna hook this thing to this thing. It's a little janky. This is a janky part. You gotta just, and it won't be perfect. So just forget about perfect. All right, so now I have this shoulder that I want to come down and hold that. Ooh, I got a little space in the back. Okay, so I like that. Okay, so that's glued together. So I have this shoulder that way, this shoulder, so now I have to figure out how I want this shoulder. I do like the space in the back. All right, so now I'm gonna come in and glue this part. Okay. All right, so now I can come along here and cut that off and cut this off and make her elbows. Well, it's more wristy, but it's okay. It looks kind of as if it could be personish. I wouldn't want to be that person. I'm sure you wouldn't want to be that person, but it looks personish. Okay, there we go. All right, so what is this? Let's keeping our stuff thrown away. So here we go. So now we can, okay, so now we know we can cut off behind her hands, right? I didn't get quite far enough on that one. Okay, see? So now, there we go. Now it looks like she's holding that up. Too much? Trying too hard? Well, I don't know. I'm gonna cut that and see if I like it. Like a little tie. Ooh, I don't hate that. Okay, so I'm going to clean it up a tiny bit. That was a bad cutter. There's a big old blob on this side. And the reason it's working is because it's of the same material as the ring. Just a little bit more interest there. Okay, now I can do the backs of both of these and stick them on. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, let's not get any extra bits in there. So now we're doing her I'm going to start at her shoulders. Make sure her ring is down, or her bracelet. And then we're going to go out, we're going to flatten it. We're going to go out, we're going to flatten it. And I'm going to just kind of go around and make sure everything's stuck down. That's fine. All right, so she's pretty stuck down. So she's cute. Oh my goodness, I'm glad I did this challenge. Okay, so now we're gonna hook these flowers to this ring first. All right, there that goes. Kind of want this one to be a tiny bit higher. So there that goes. All right, now we'll come down here and do this bottom part. It's already semi-stuck. Seems like that's how they want to do it, so we're fine. Okay, here we go, here we go. And if you get a little weird crinkly bit, it's fine because it's just paper, so you can kind of force it into a different shape if you want. All right, we're gonna glue these to this ring. And I'm doing all the gluing of the stuff first because if you don't, you're gonna have weird bits of your collage not stuck to anything. And then it'll rip or tear or whatever. So now we're good. We can go and we can do this whole bouquet. So I have, in every collage, I think about what I wanna say because I don't really journal like my day. I have a vision journal that I use for my vision journal where I kind of record what's been happening if my granddaughter comes over or something. But so I like to have a theme or a story for my collages. So I think this one is gonna be She Believed in Magic and Mystery. Ooh, look at that. That one went over the other side of the border. Okay, here we go. That turned out cute. Okay, I already can tell that this did not get enough. And I kind of go under and over it. I don't know that I'm gonna do a whole coat of Mod Podge over everything, but especially with little fiddly bits. And I need to, before this dries, I need to cut these stems off because those are in my vase, right? So I'm thinking of that as a vase. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. We just get under there and smoosh it down and get under there and smoosh it down. Okay. So, oh, that's fun. Okay. So now we need to write something, but I'm worried that if I write this on onto this is why I have paint or glue all over everything. Okay, so I want to say She Believed in Magic and Mystery. And I decided that I was going to use kind of the, I don't know why I have this lady, but I'm going to use her background here to write my saying. So I'm going to say, she, I before E, B-L, I don't know how to spell believed, B-E-L-I-E-V-E-D, B-E-L, I-E-V-E-D. Now, if I had this to do again, I would do those a little bit further apart. I'm going to say in magic and mystery. Okay, so the way that so I took a class from Heidi Swap on how to use your own handwriting, and I really, really loved that class, and I use my own handwriting, so this isn't somebody else's. I just take what I write, and then I just kind of fill it out, right? So I'm using principles of how you would do font design, you can take on the YouTube, you can find all kinds of courses about this, but functionally you should have fat lines on the down stroke. So if I was making an E, I'm going up, down, so the fat line should be here, but I don't always follow that. And I like to put little doogies on my ends. And then we have our B. E, and we're going to make a fat doogie on the end. Make our L fatter. Make our I fat and give it a dot. A little taily bob on the end of our E. Make that part fatter, make that part fatter. Usually I don't let you watch my doodles and my writing. I don't know if it's boring. Tell me if it's boring. I won't do it anymore if it's boring. Fat I. Fat side of the N. Another fat side of the N. And I think the main thing about it is to not get yourself all twisted, because you're going to see all kinds of horrible things in here when you're doing it yourself, like, oh, that line was wiggly, or oh, this terrible thing happened, and honestly nobody else is going to see it except you. I love my G's. I'm very pleased with my G's. Some of my letters I don't love as I like my G's. I like my A's. We're going to make a little taily up here for our G. Big fat I. Make a thing, make a thing, make a thing. And you don't even have to be able to read it really well. It doesn't matter. So let's make the back of this A. I also only make it fat where I can make it fat, right? Like sometimes I write bad and then I can't make both sides fat. Like this N would be a little bit weird if I made it super fat. So I just do what I can. There we go. Okay, 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 okay. Here we go. Choo, choo, choo. Let's make a fancy Y. And now I have to make this Y fancy and it's too long. Darn it. It's fine. I have also spelled words wrong. I have put extra words in. And you know what? My art has survived. Because nobody but me would ever notice or care. Okay. Well, that is not true. If I spelled believed wrong, I will hear about it forever. Okay, so we're going to cut this pretty close because that one I made really close, so now I have to make them all really close. Okay. Well, that Y isn't too long. What were we thinking? It's fine. And I don't like to cut my letters out. Like, I don't like to cut around the Y's and things like that. But if we don't have enough room, I'll do it. This is just a fun little page. Don't forget, all of this is just to have fun. This is to amuse yourself. So make sure you find your art amusing. I find mine incredibly amusing. I crack myself up. Now I had to go up because it wasn't the right, like the front part wasn't right because I made it too close to here. But I promise you, you will notice because I pointed it out, but nobody but you and me will ever know that that's how it was. In fact, I do think I'm going to cut these out today. Just for fun. Because this girl with the flower hair seems like she's fun. Okay, there we go. Well, I guess in for a penny, in for a pound, right? Those ones I did a little straight. Okay, so this weird lady I don't know why I have is gone. And I could have done this in white on parts of the white pages, but then it would have been really shocking compared to everything else, right? So we're going to say she believed. We can go over top of this. In magic and mystery. Ooh, look, we can do that. Yay. Okay, I like that. So we're going to stick this down using my, this one. And I'm being just a trifle delicate with it for a minute because that marker, until it's fully set and dried, could maybe, I don't know for sure, but could maybe move around on that glossy magazine paper. So I'm just trying to be super careful. Look at my G. Don't you just love my G? It's very nice. Not a big fan of my S's. My E's are okay, but nothing to write home about. My A's and my G's, though, those are killer. Okay. Ooh, look, we can cover our weird elbows, too. That worked out perfectly. Okay, there we go. So now I am going to let this dry, leave you, and go doodle on it, and I'll be back to show you the very end work. Okay, so I think there's a little glare on here. I'm going to move it a little bit. So what I did was I went around and I did my border with a stripe. I outlined everything, and then like around her, I outlined everything over to here dark, and on this one, I outlined everything over to here dark. I think that worked really well. I outlined all the stripey bits. Now, I'm going to cheat tonight, and I'm going to use a white pen and do even more, but you could achieve this with, we have magazine, Mod Podge, and Sharpie marker. That is all that is on this page, okay? So you can absolutely do this kind of collage. I am going to go in with a white marker, like a white gel pen after this, because I think some of you may have that. But this is what you could do with just magazine, Mod Podge, and a Sharpie. Okay, I literally spent 5 minutes. I did use a Posca pen. You could use a white gel pen. You could use anything like that. All I did was I went and I outlined and put little lines and dots around here. I made a few more marks, little circles, and then made some little lines in them. I outlined the words a little bit, and I think it really helped like in here and in here where it was darker. Maybe had I used white, it would have popped more without the white highlights. But then my concern would be that all you'd see is she believed in magic and mystery. You wouldn't see her. Now, I do think the white helped the most on her. I outlined her sleeves and her hands. I defined her neck because it was just kind of a black blob without the white. I gave her little flippies on her hair, which I think made her hair look more real. I dotted her eyes, and then I outlined her propellers. And I think, so on her, in case it's shiny, I'm sorry about that, on her, I think it made a huge difference. On here, it definitely made a difference, but, you know, so if you were going to take out of this one more little thing you would get, it would maybe be a white gel pen, because you can use gel. I don't have any right here, but I used a white gel pen for a long time. I used a, oh shoot, I'll put it in the description what kind I got. It was a very special kind. And now I just use a paint pen because I have lots of paint pens. So you could have stopped there. I asked Desi, my daughter, and she said it looked good with just the black. And she said she thought maybe a little bit of white would help. So hopefully that helps. Tara Jacobsen, Artsy Fartsy Life.